Hi everyone, I am so excited to be back making new content. I feel like I say that every time I take a break and I come back, but this time I really mean it. I'm really serious about this podcast and I don't want to sort of just put something up and then leave you guys hanging for a couple months or however long it's been. But things have been super crazy. I have a lot to update you on and a lot to talk about. So let's get started. You're probably wondering, well, where has she been? What's going on in her life? And for those of you who have me on Instagram, some of you probably already know that I've been, honestly, I have been trying to do a lot of stuff and trying to balance all of it at once, which has been kind of hard, as it can be sometimes. Back in May, I had my graduation ceremony, so that was really wonderful to walk across the stage and to be with family and friends. That was really amazing for me, and I was really happy about it. And then I had applied to this job, and they contacted me while I was away in April, which is crazy because to be honest, I wasn't positive that I was gonna get this job. I was just like, nope, it's not happening. But they contacted me after I did my interview, and this was right before I was leaving LA, and they said, we just want to let you know that the offer is on the table if you still want to work with us. And I was like, okay, sure. So it's officially June, and I started my new job working with the American Foundation for the Blind on June 6th, and I'm currently in my second week. I'm filming this for you on a Wednesday? Is it already Wednesday? That is insane. Cannot believe that. Those are kind of the simple things, the little things that have been keeping me sort of busy. And on the side of my sort of corporate job, if you will kind of say that, I'm trying to build up my own business. And that comes with its challenges, I still have my YouTube channel, which I've been trying to stay consistent on there as much as I've been trying to stay consistent here with the podcast. But it's really hard for me, and I don't want to ever sound like pity party, you know what I mean? But because I'm sure some people will say that I sound like I'm complaining about it, but in reality, I'm really not complaining. I'm just sort of wanting everyone to understand the difficulties that come with being a content creator for me. Because it's not that simple, I strive to do everything that I can to provide educational content, things that people will enjoy. Sometimes it's hard because it's just me, and I don't have a team of people that are going to help me with, help me edit my podcast, help me edit my YouTube videos, help me film videos, help me record well, I can simply record the podcast myself, but, there's just some things that sort of take a little bit of time, when you're recording podcasts, and episodes by yourself, and YouTube videos by yourself, especially for YouTube. I feel like with the podcast, it's a little bit easier, and I really don't have an excuse as to why I've been away for so long. I think sometimes I draw a blank on topics that you guys would be interested in and things that you kind of want to listen to, and so that's why over on Instagram, I always ask you, what should I talk about on the podcast? What are some questions or topics or things that you really want me to talk about? And I'm trying to get help, and I think that right now I'm in the position where I'm really, really passionate about the business that I'm trying to build. And I really do love my job. It is a really great job. I'm doing accessibility testing and, for websites and things like that. But on the other hand, it's like I have come across, oh my God, there's this bird at the window. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's going, eh. Anyways, I've been trying to work on this business for a long time, and I know businesses don't usually happen so instantly, because there's a lot of things that you have to go through, a lot of processes, a lot of information, and for me it's really not like a major business, but for me it's really about something that I've really been passionate about, and something I've really wanted to do for quite a while, and I've been getting some help with my cousin, who will officially become my manager once we sort of go into the business. But she's been a great help in helping me to get the things that I would need for this business to thrive. She's already helped me get business cards. We're working on my website right now. And, it's just, I think for me, I tend to try to rush things when I know that if it's something I really want and something I'm really passionate about, and I think this goes for anybody, because I'm sure there's people out there, and any of the listeners, I'm sure you feel this way too, where you are maybe out of college, or maybe you're still in college, or you're in grad school, you're working, whatever you have going on in your life. It's like you may still have a really big dream and a really big passion of yours that you are so happy about, something that you love so much, and something that you really, really want to just happen. Like, you just want it to come into fruition immediately. And I think I've always had this mindset that I've kind of rushed things when it comes to my work life, my business life, if you will, because I always feel like, okay, well, this thing, I'm so happy about it, and I love it so much, and I really, really want this thing to happen for me, this really great, amazing thing to happen for me. And I don't ever stop to think and say, well, you know what? You have achieved so much already for that goal, and maybe you just need to wait a little bit longer for everything to really fall into place the way it needs to. And no matter how many times I try to tell myself, listen, it's gonna be fine, it's all gonna work out the way you want it to, you shouldn't really be worrying about it, it's like there's something in me that's still, I think it's the fact that I don't want to ever give up having that passion for this thing. And if I sort of sit back and wait for it, then I feel like in my mind it's not right there, but it's, I kind of feel like, okay, if I'm just waiting for this thing to happen, then I might end up losing interest, or I might end up losing the passion for it, And I think that that's really hard. And sometimes you sort of rush these things because you're like, well, I love this thing, and it's not ever really about the money. Yes, the money part is great. I mean, you'll be able to do so much, but at the same time, it's like this big dream, this big goal, this really big, sort of business plan you have in mind. It's like you want those things to happen immediately because, yes, you're so passionate, but again, if you sort of sit back and wait for that business plan to really come into place, wait for the right people to, help you with the business, sometimes you feel like, okay, well, I already know I'm going to lose passion for it. And I know myself well enough that there's so many things that I'm passionate about that I can't say that I'm ever, bored of something, because I have so many passions for different things. But I think the hard part for me is knowing that I've achieved a lot, and I've gone through a lot, and I've I've been able to say that, yes, I finally have a really great job. And I didn't think I was going to have a job right after graduation. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of college students don't get a job straight out of college. That's not always the case for some people. And especially being blind, there's such a big like statistic about the unemployment rate in the blind community. And for the longest time, you know, my graduation ceremony was last month, so this is in June, so it was in May. But I finished school, like I was completely done with school back in January. And I went through a point in my life where I should have probably made an episode about it. Well, I did, finding courage, because that was that time when I really didn't feel courageous about anything. I said, I had all these negative thoughts about myself, which I try not to do that, because I try to talk myself out of that, because I don't like that feeling of feeling negative, of thinking negatively about myself or about situations. And there was a point in my life where I think it was back in March or February, so it was a couple months after I finished school, and I was sitting at home and I'm like, am I not gonna find a job? Like, what is happening? I feel so discouraged. And my cousin, who's also, let's just call her my manager for business wise, I called her up because she's always been so supportive. And I just sort of let everything out. I just said, listen, like at the time I was so discouraged. I didn't know what to do. I obviously at the time I was still trying to work on my business, and I didn't even know how to start that. And my cousin owns a business. My eldest brother also owns 2 businesses of his own. And I turned to my cousin because I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what options I have right now. Because at the time, I didn't know about the job that I have currently. That wasn't even, obviously no offense to the people, because I love the organization and I love what they're all about. But at the time, like, I wasn't thinking about this specific job description. I wasn't thinking that this was an option, you know? And of course, my cousin, being the wonderful person she is, was like, I'm here for you, and what exactly do you want to do? Like, what's the business idea? So I went through it with her on the phone, and we set up times to really work on specific things for the business and helping me find jobs and things of that nature. But it was still, even though I had that support and I knew that she loved me and I knew that she was there to support me, and I knew that just in general that I had my family's support and love, internally, it was still hard for me, because I've always been the type of person that just got up and just chased after everything that I wanted. Even if I was faced with adversaries, which, let's be honest, you sometimes are, especially in my situation, I still said, you know what? I'm going to overlook all of the negativity and all of the negative things that people may have to say, and I'm going to do what I want to do, because I know that I have a goal, I have a dream, I have ideas and things that I really, really, really love. And I've always kind of had that mindset, but especially being out of school, where you're so used to having a schedule every day, and you're seeing all these people, and you're going in and you're doing a million things, and you come home at the end of the day and you still have more things to do. And maybe there's people that were in college that were also working and had internships, but also, you're trying to also deal with, and not just deal with, but you're trying to balance your social life, your personal life, family life, school life, work life, all these things that just, when you're not sort of on that day-to-day, rushing to be here, rushing to be there, talking to so-and-so, doing this thing, it's like you kind of sit at home and you're alone with your thoughts, and you kind of go into this mindset where you're like, oh shit, I'm done with school. At the time, again, I didn't have a job. I had this it's not big, but I had this business idea in my mind. I had other projects I was working on that, like, you kind of don't know which direction to turn in, because you're thinking, okay, I'm done with school. I graduated with I graduated with a bachelor's in communications and digital media. Some people may say I graduated with a social work. I was a social work major, or I graduated with X, Y, and Z. And most of the time, for certain people that had certain majors, they might find a job right out of school because of their specific industry that they want to go into. So for me, I always loved radio. I always loved podcasts. Hello. I loved doing things to not keep myself busy, because I feel like a lot of people use that term when they're feeling really stressed about something. So they're like, no, I'm just doing things to keep myself busy. For me, it wasn't just about keeping myself busy. It was about educating myself. Even if I wasn't in school, it was about, what can I do today that I'm going to learn from? How am I going to grow? How am I going to push myself forward? How am I going to advance and do the things that I want to do? I cannot sit in one place for a very long time. I will say that. And it was great being at home for the couple of months, and then going to LA for my birthday, going to a conference with the same company that I work for now, and knowing that these were the things that I loved, going to LA, seeing family, seeing my friend. I loved those things, but I was also still thinking about, okay, well, what's the next step? Like, what am I doing next? So after telling my cousin all these things, she actually helped me find my job. And again, I wasn't so confident in myself that I was gonna get this job, because although it's something that I think about as a blind individual and as someone who uses a screen reader on a day-to-day basis, I didn't know, because I wasn't always very techy, like some people are very tech savvy. I never was really one of those people, but I applied. I got the interview while I was in LA. I got the response while I was in LA. I was like, maybe LA is my good luck charm. I'm saying all of this to say that it's not always easy for me to do a lot of the things that I want to. As much as I'm very passionate about it, I know that there's things that are going to sort of happen when they need to happen. And right now I'm still in the process of searching for someone to help me with my channel. And I'm still working on my business. And I'm still working. But I know that some things for my business and for my day-to-day business life and YouTube sort of situation, I know that some of those things aren't so easy to just fix, especially when you're not a big YouTuber. I feel like a lot of big YouTubers have their team set up where they can have someone come in to help edit, or have someone come in to help film them, or and when it's just you working on things by yourself, it's not always super easy, and it's sometimes gonna take time. And I'm saying that to say this not just to myself, but to anybody out there. I'm sure that a lot of you are in similar situations as me right now, where you feel sort of discouraged and you feel like the wonderful, amazing thing and the way that you want to contribute to the world is so hard. But keep that passion and keep that idea, keep that dream. I feel like as a kid, especially growing up, I loved music. And in high school, when everybody started choosing what college they wanted to go to and what they wanted to do moving forward, I really didn't know, because all my life, all I knew was music. I went to a music program. I went to a performing arts high school, and to me, that was the only thing I ever knew, until someone told me, you're really great at holding conversations. You're really good at, sort of discussing things. And she was like, you should really go into communications. And here I am, friends. But at the time, I didn't know that. And I think that sometimes, especially being in your 20s, you go through a lot of different phases in your life where things are confusing, where things don't really add up the way you may want them to. But from someone who couldn't decide what her next step was junior year, to someone who has a job and has a business plan and a really, really amazing thing that she's so passionate about, to anybody out there who feels like they're in the same situation where they don't know what's next, I just want to say that you are always learning new things, and it's important to find things that you're so passionate about and interested in. And if that thing that you're really passionate about and interested in is the thing that you want to spend the rest of your life doing, then that's your focus. Do you love art? If art is the thing that you love so, so much and it makes you so happy, and you want to spend every single day working on art, go ahead. No one's stopping you. No one can tell you that you shouldn't be doing that. Are you a writer? Have you always wanted to be an author? Have you had all these short stories written out, these poems, and you never had the chance to get them published or do all these things? And that's what you want to spend your time in your everyday life doing. No one can tell you that that's not what's meant for you. And I know it's hard, and I know that for anybody in their 20s, and not even people in their 20s, but other people maybe in your 30s, or if you're younger, you just have to keep finding those things that you love. And keep remembering that you have a dream. Everybody's got a purpose. And it's not always going to be easy to really automatically start working on that thing that we love so, so much. And that makes us so unbelievably happy and that brings so much joy to us. But I know, and I'm sure, hopefully, moving forward, that a lot of things for my business will come into fruition, because I believe it. And believe too for yourself. Don't allow people to try to bring you down or make you feel like your dream isn't going to come true, or try to tell you that what you want to do is not realistic. Because I'll be honest, there's some things that I wouldn't necessarily say are a career path, but are things that you could maybe work on the side, and maybe you have those hobbies that you really love, but don't allow your hobby to become your career. Your career needs to be something that, you can get up out of bed every day and say, I'm so happy today. And you should always be happy every day, because, hello, you're alive. You're waking up, you're opening your eyes, you're alive. But also, the job and the career that you choose needs to be that thing that just gets you out of bed every day, where you can be like, oh my God, I'm happy today because this job, this career that I chose for myself is everything to me. And I know that with my business, that's how I feel. And I'm sure that with other people out there, that's probably how you feel too. And maybe it's just taking you some time to really sort of develop the plan, the stepping stones that are going to help you get to that specific point in your life. But I believe in you. I believe in myself. I believe that we can all achieve everything that we want. And I just really wanted to make this episode to talk about some things that have been going on in my life. And mental health wise, I won't lie, I've had my days, but so far I've been feeling really, really good and positive about things, and I'm trying to always look on the positive side of things, and I want that for anybody out there, because the world is cruel. Let's just be honest and call it what it is. The world is not a nice place, and especially for people in certain communities, I know that it's not always easy, but just keep doing you, keep killing it, keep reaching for your dream, and we will achieve. Oh, and also for anybody in the LGBTQ plus community, I want to wish you a happy Pride Month. Go out and show your true colors, and I'm sending you all so much love. I have to go to work now. Well, let's see. I don't know what time it is. Work starts at 8:30, and I've been up since like 6 o'clock in the morning. So, anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. And if you have any suggestions on episodes, topics, anything that you want me to do next, just let me know on Instagram, because that's where you can find me, or check out my YouTube channel, which should be linked to this podcast. All right, thank you guys for listening. I love you. Bye. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. I just wanted to let you know that all of the music used throughout this episode was founded through Epidemic Sound. And I've been using Epidemic Sound for quite a while for all of my content creation needs over on my YouTube channel. Do you know what I love so much about Epidemic Sound? It's the fact that they have such a large variety of options to choose from their genres to their moods to their themes and to their large selection of sound effects. And I want to help you out. So if you want to start adding music and sound effects to your content but you don't know where to look, you can start by using my link in my bio over on my Instagram at mindful.minute_. Once again, that's mindful.minute_. No, this is not a sponsor, although I would love for them to sponsor me at some point. But I just want to shout them out because they're that amazing, and I want you to start incorporating their awesome variety of music and sound effects into your content. Because I know that it's hard when you're trying to become a content creator, or you are a content creator and you don't know where to look. Epidemic Sound has all of the things that you could ever need for your content, and I will help you out. So check it out. Check out my link over on my Instagram at mindful.minute_. And leave me a comment while you're over there, and give me a follow, and let me know what your favorite episode was by far throughout this podcast. What do you want to hear next?